Thank you for tuning in to another episode of WGC Fits. Today we are going to be working with Ian, and we are going to be testing out what happens with driver shafts in terms of weight. So we have a lightweight shaft, we have a heavier shaft, and then we have a counterbalance shaft. And we're going to see what kind of differences we get with Ian swinging the big stick. So Ian, let her rip. For starters, we are testing the what would be the quote-unquote light shaft here. We're going to be using the Ping 9° LST 425 head for all of these. Kind of keep it even. It's going to be set to 9 degrees in neutral. Take a swing.
So we're gonna have you hit just a bit over there, just a bit healing.
So we're gonna have you hit about 3 shots with each of these here. And before we look at the data side of it, I want you to speak of the feel that you're getting off of them. Okay?
Okay. It's not that hard to, even though it's whippy, I can control it.
Mm-hmm. It's an extra stiff.
You know what I mean?
It's an extra stiff. It's just a little bit lighter.
But it's still.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely softer than kind of some stuff that you've been used to hitting.
But because it's lighter, I can my hands can control it a smidgen extra.
Okay.
That weird?
A little bit. I mean, weight. People react to weight differently across the board, right? You play a little bit of a lighter driver shaft in general, right? Like I play stuff that's all very, very heavy, but that's how I like it. I mean, you hit the ball a lot farther than I do. It's just a matter of what we can control, because you said it right there perfectly. Weight leads to what you can feel, and then that leads to how you can control the golf club, right? So it's a very important thing that sometimes gets overlooked in fitting.
Okay, that one I couldn't square.
Maybe a little bit too soft for you, this guy.
Smidgen.
But in all honesty, the numbers there weren't too bad. Like your carry is pretty good. Your total is really good considering. And the interesting thing is your spin's about 2,200.
Interesting. Here, I'll hit one more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. That was nice. I didn't want to hop into the trees.
That was a good ball. Right down the middle. Super low spin, actually.
I hit that right on the screw.
Let's switch this one up here. All right, and I want you to kind of think about how all of them are feeling throughout, okay?
It felt soft.
Okay. Next, we're going to be using what in this test is going to be the heavier one, okay?
Oh yeah, this is heavier.
Yeah, big time, right?
Oh.
Noticeably, right?
Yeah, that felt more stable.
A little more solid, right?
More stable.
Okay.
I still healed it, but that's my problem.
We can't fix everything, but
yeah, even though I'm setting up on the toe,
is the first thing we're looking at.
I didn't swing that good, but that was a lot more stable.
Heels just
than that other one that went over there.
Mm-hmm.
With the lighter one. There we go. Whoop-pow.
That one's going somewhere quickly.
It was low, which was nice.
I do know you like to keep the ball low. Okay.
Right.
Next, we're going to try one more here. Now, this one's a little bit of a unique one because this is counterbalanced. Now, have you really ever messed around with a counterbalanced driver shaft before, Ian?
No, I've never hit a counterbalance shaft before.
Okay.
So, kind of interested to see what happens. Why does this feel lighter?
Because counterbalance. So, this is...
Why is there more weight up here?
Because that's the design of the shaft. So this is the counterbalanced Tensei Orange AV Series 65X from Ping. So it's actually a very similar weight to the one that you just hit. However, the weight is in a very different spot. And that has some benefits for some people. You know, what it generally does is it takes weight away from the bottom of the club and adds it to the top of the club. So we're gonna have you hit some, and then I want you to tell me what this feels like.
Well, that went left. Well, it started left.
That just went arrow straight. That was a very good ball.
So where does this load then?
Down the bottom.
Feels like it's up here.
That's because that's where the weight is. It's a different
I
animal.
don't hit a driver left. I don't hit drivers left.
Well, that's like I said. For some people, it works really well. For some people,
No, it
it's a
wasn't
little
bad
bit different.
left. It wasn't bad left. It's just.
See, I don't know where we're at for you yet on this guy. We might have to hit a few extra with this one.
That one I just missed.
Because you play currently in your driver a hazardous, right?
Smoke IM10.
Smoke IM10. And that's in a 6.5 60? 70. 70. So you play shaft that's got a decent bit of weight, kind of down in like the bottom half, let's say.
Yeah.
Where this is kind of putting more of the weight in the top half.
That one felt, oh, that was just a bad swing.
Now, here's my question. Do you feel like you are as in as much control with this?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It doesn't whip. Or it feels like it does. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll hit one more. Because that wasn't struck bad. I don't think I can feel where the face is.
With this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it's coming to. Well, I felt that go left and it went left, so. Not for me.
For you, I think it's very important to have a good feeling of where the club head is. From working with you in the past, we've known that that's an important thing, right? And remember, the only thing that a player can actually feel is weight. You can't really feel flex in a golf swing. You can't really feel kind of many things like, you know, people always ask me about torque values and stuff, right? You can't really feel that. What you can feel is weight, right? And more importantly, you can feel where weight is, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel it just here.
What I'm seeing is, when we look at the numbers with this golf club, right? We'll bring those up right now. Swing speed is actually a bit up on average, right?
Compared to the other ones.
Compared to the other ones. But your spin also was a little bit erratic, right? So what that's telling me is that the strike maybe necessarily wasn't the greatest, right? Now, if we do this, right, get past your first two where you're trying to figure it out, right? Your average club speed with the counterbalance is 121.2.
Yeah.
Now, for a guy swinging as fast as you, a mile an hour is huge, right? It's massive, right? To be able to average something faster. It is, right? When you had the heavier shaft, the Tour 65X, you're at 120.1. And then with your lighter one, you're at 120.3. So we are literally a mile an hour faster. But again, that's pretty good, right? Considering you're swinging 120 miles an hour. It's tough to kind of improve upon that window. Now, when we look at average, your average is relatively similar, right? 315 average with the Tensei Orange, 322 with the heavier, the Ping Tour shaft, 313 with the light one, right? And then if we look at peak height here, the heavier one, I mean, it's 100 versus 101, it's relatively the same, right?
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is there's not a whole lot of difference between the lighter and the heavier for you in this case, right? Where the big difference came was that when we took weight away from the head, you just had a really hard time actually being able to feel it and control it. Your spin goes up, distance drops off.
Yeah.
You know, once again, we're finding out that, you know, you're a heavy head guy. That's what you like, you know? Does that kind of line up with what you kind of were feeling when you were swinging them?
Yes.
There you go, right? Imagine if you're a guy who wants a little bit more speed potentially, right, is trying to find some club speed.
Yeah.
That's kind of where something like this can kind of come into play. You know, you don't need help, you personally don't need help generating a little bit more speed. You have tons of speed, you can lose some if you wanted, right? But for someone who needs a little bit more speed, right, that could definitely be a window.
Yeah.
You know, if we're able to move you a little bit faster, imagine someone not swinging 120 miles an hour. Makes a difference.
Makes a big difference.
Right? All right. Well, there we go. So we know that Ian is not a counterbalance guy. We know that Ian likes a heavier shaft. But if you want to find out if you could potentially be someone who lines up for a counterbalance shaft, come see us at Wimble Golf Center. We'll get you fit up.